My final question is, you have spent a great deal of investment in acquiring and developing your talent. How do you keep that talent? And you can be specific. Vince.
Well, two things. I keep starting with numbers, but I will say this. I'm extremely hopeful in this region of the country. In my role as on the board of the Economic Development Corporation, in the last 3 years, we visited 9 metropolitan areas to look at what they're doing well, what they're doing right. What takes us to these places is that we always go to follow someone that left our region. We want to know why they left. We want to know if there's anything that we can do to bring them back. I'll tell you what we found. You've heard of clusters, right? You hear people talk about them all the time. Life science cluster. We have a military infrastructure that's a cluster. We have all these different clusters. Let me tell you something. There's no other region in the country that has as many clusters as we have. What's happened is San Diego has become the cluster that attracts all of the clusters, okay? So, and this doesn't exist. Lincoln, Nebraska does not have this opportunity. So when we talk about STEM and we forget STEAM, in other words, if we forget the arts part of the science, technology, engineering, and math, then you're missing what makes this cluster work so well in San Diego. So what we try to do is we remind companies and people that this is the region that you come to because anything's possible in this region. This region will take Irwin Jacobs, who had a technology based on Omnitracks that tracked vehicles, and spun that into CDMA, which is a licensed product that's in probably 90% of the phones in the world. But it was because they were here first that they were then allowed to grow and expand. So we tell our employees, I'm taking no credit for what God created. Okay, so the sun, the beautiful weather, the force field between Camp Pendleton and the ocean and the border. I'm not taking any credit for that. But I am telling you that you're in a mega region that includes another country, access to the most populous geographical area of the world, and you have every opportunity available to you in this region. So this is why you work for me, is because I'm going to give you the opportunity to not do what I want you to do, but do what you can do to make this the best company in our region. So that's what we do to keep our best and brightest.
Keith.
Well, the way we keep them is by trying to make them happy. It's a very employee-focused company. Obviously, that's one of the reasons we're one of the best companies to work for. We have fully paid medical benefits for the employee and their family. I could go on and on about the benefits, but I will say that things are changing. Syzergy is one of the last companies that has fully paid medical for the employees and their family, and that is changing next year. And not to get on the whole healthcare bandwagon, but it's been going up almost 25% a year, and we cannot be competitive anymore by doing that. And that really bothers me. I've been in business for 16 years. I've done the same thing for the entire 16 years. So I'm hoping that does not affect our employees leaving, because I think that the market is the same. But it is sad. But we do try and keep our employees by keeping them happy.
Irene?
Well, I think I talked about some of these things earlier, but I would say it's keeping your employees engaged and feeling like they're accomplishing something, and that what they're doing is making a difference in their world and in the larger world. I don't think people are motivated by money alone. I think they're very motivated by the synthesis of the job with the things that they most care about. And this is, I mean, as I say, we're fortunate enough that we're a mission-driven organization. But we do as much job enrichment as we can. We also pay 100% of our employees, but they have to pay half of the family. And I don't know how long that's going to last, just as you say. So that as managers, as leaders, we all need to search for things that will be of value to the employees, not just because we like them as leaders, but listening. And I think culturally, our organization, we listen to our employees. And too many places, I've worked in some, the employees' voices are not heard. I think it's important that your employees know you care about them. And caring about them, not just as a body that sits in a seat and makes money for you, but caring for them as people. You know, how many of knowing the names of their kids, knowing when somebody's sick, knowing, oh my goodness, you really look stressed, what can I do to help? I mean, caring for them like human beings will make them feel very, will bring loyalty. Loyalty is an old-fashioned word, but I'm kind of no, I'm not an old-fashioned but it's an old-fashioned word that we're losing in today's society. But I think you can create loyalty by treating them well, by listening, by moving people around. I mean, we don't switch jobs on a daily or weekly basis, but even in our small, well, I guess it's a medium-sized company, we promote people, we try to show them a career path. They'll leave if they think that there's a ceiling over where they can go. And so as employers, you need to give them a chance to show where they can go and to provide enrichment in their job so they don't get bored, and care for them.
Phyllis.
Our employees have given us feedback that there's basically 3 things that they really value in terms of us being able to retain them. Creating opportunities for them to do work that they value. Absolutely number 1, very important. The second is having the opportunity to work with people that challenge them in a positive way that they enjoy working with. So going beyond, it's having a friend at work, but also just a work group that really resonates with them, that they feel that they're growing professionally and also have fun with. And then finally working for someone that they like, which, you know, isn't always easy to achieve. So those are things that we're not perfect at, but there's certainly goals that we are constantly working toward to retain our key people.
Julie.
Well, I think we have the same employee base because that's exactly, we do an engagement survey, and there's, of course, a lot of studies too in terms of what keeps employees engaged, and ours are very similar to what everyone else has said here. I think the one advantage that we have is that because people are so motivated to be part of a company that improves the human condition, what we will do is we have all employee meetings. It's viewed around the globe, and we'll have a CEO come up, and we try to highlight the difference that someone makes in the lives of so the end user. So last month we had a ex-convict, well, he actually was not a convict, but it was a gentleman that was falsely accused of rape that was in prison for many, many years, and we're the leading forensic company. And our technology is what was utilized to prove his innocence. And so we had this gentleman there on stage meeting the people that had developed that technology. And so we really, you know, we have all kinds of little examples like that. That's a big example, but and we leverage that to help and communicate even to people that, so that's the scientists that developed the technology, but we will have our manufacturing workers and distribution workers who are moving the product. We'll actually have a scientist come over and explain, here's what this product does, so that they have that connectivity to actually how what they are doing is contributing to improving the human condition.